Previously. X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show.
Come on!
It's X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. Are you ready?
They're ready.
Oh, good. That's good. And here I am. Who am I? I'm one of your hosts. The host on the left, Wandav.
This is my home and my rules.
Right here. And with me, as always, is my co-host.
The flame is your anger. It will extinguish with serenity. Don't let it overtake you. Rage is strong, but you are stronger.
It's a pretty fair facsimile. You're muted, Davo. Davo's muted.
Don't succumb to the flame, Andre.
Succumb to the flame. Maybe the flame should succumb to me.
You are stronger.
Do you ever think about that? Maybe the flame
Well, it
should
might.
succumb to me.
Then you'd be the snuffer, not the beetle snuff.
Where's my needle snap?
Snuffing out those flames.
Stop sneaking Star Trek references into this Sweet Sweet X-Men podcast.
I haven't done that in a long time. Yeah.
That's like saying, well, don't stop murdering people. I haven't done it in a long time.
Didn't Dexter say that once?
Well, it didn't work because he's got a prequel, a sequel, and 6 other
Oh,
shows.
prequels are irrelevant for that. Whoops, why am I welcoming people to webheads?
Yeah, well, the prequel's still going, but then there's this new sequel series where he's like Hannibal Lecter with the FBI now catching other serial killers.
We're here to review X-Men Evolution Season 2, Episode 15, The HeX Factor. Written by Sidney Clark and Steve Granat and directed by Gary Graham. And that's correct.
Granat?
Granat.
So the Granata.
I would say that's pronounced Granat.
Hello, Mutter. Hello, Fader. Gary M.
There am at Camp Granater.
Granat.
I'm sure he got that all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure. Actually, he's probably an older gentleman, so at this point in his life, so I'm sure maybe he might have been around when that album came out. So, Marriage is Lisa Camp Granada.
Yeah, classic Simpsons. Sometimes I miss my Simpsons podcast.
You only had it you guys only did it for 15, 20 episodes.
Not very long. Just got into second season.
No, it doesn't hit stride to the third season, really. But
well, yeah. But some of my favorite ones are in those early seasons too.
Pretty classic.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah. How are things?
Yeah, I can't complain. How about you?
Maybe I'll complain.
No, go for it. Complain. Complaining with Davin. New segment. Davin Dishes. Davin's Discord. Ooh, I like Davin's Discord.
Complain with an X. Complaints.
Adding to it doesn't make it X.
Yeah, it didn't really quite sound the way I was going.
Like like a word that exaggerate. No, not exaggerate. Exalted.
No complaints, really. I mean, the weather's nice.
Yeah, weather has been nice.
Getting the chicken run built. It's almost done.
A chicken run? Like the movie Chicken Run?
Well, no, the movie Chicken Run is called the movie Chicken Run because a chicken run is a real thing, and it's a reference.
Okay, what is a chicken run?
It's the outside part. Do you ever see, there's always the chicken coop, and then there's an outside fenced part?
So yard. The prison yard is what you're...
Yeah, the prison yard.
Okay. They call it chicken run? I guess because they run around there. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
It's called a chicken run. Yeah.
I had chickens growing up. My parents had chickens growing up.
You did.
They did, but I didn't have the stomach for the murdering part of the chicken part when they got big enough to
What about the eggs? Did you go collect the eggs in the
I
morning?
don't. I don't believe we got eggs out of them. I think they were just meat birds.
Just meat birds.
Yeah.
People order them. They get like 200 at a time, or like
Yeah, it was a lot of chickens. And you know, yeah. And when I was really young, I used to catch them and give them to Dad, and then he would take the head off and put it through the boiling hot water thing, and then the plucking machine. But yeah, I just didn't have the stomach for it, which is ironic because that's the only meat I really eat is chicken.
Yeah, I'm not raising any meat birds here.
Yeah, that's good. You're not a vegetarian, are you, Devin? No. Good.
Yep.
Are you?
Yeah, I've been a vegetarian. Well, I eat fish.
You're pescatarian.
Pescatarian. Yeah.
So I've heard you go off on Murphy about being a vegan like all the time. I thought it was. I didn't think you were concerned how hard you went at him, poor Murphy. If he's listening,
I'm just
Murphy.
looking out for his best interest.
Although you know what, as far as you know,
I just don't like the holier than thou stuff from vegans because I like to point out to them how like environmentally sustainable it's not as they think it is, and like things like that. I'm just like I don't like fakeness. I'm like I'm sure go ahead, be vegan. That's cool, but like don't pretend like there isn't downsides to it.
No, I mean it's like anything in life. You have to. You have to choose to live your life the way you want choose to live your life the way that you can live it. You know, with guilt, as guilt-free as you can, you know, doing whatever. So it's like I'm an atheist. I don't go around telling everyone that you should be an atheist and acting smug about it. You know, like it's not, you know what I mean? Like I'm not like, oh well, the Bible's stupid because of this and this and this and this. I watched this movie Heretic that came out a little while ago with Hugh Grant in it, and he's kind of one of those characters that's I know more than you about religion because I've studied every aspect of it, and you're an idiot for believing in it. And the more you watch the movie, the more you're like, yeah, a guy like that's insufferable, even though he's like a monster in the movie. So it gets worse than just being an intellectual.
A guy like that's insufferable unless their name is Christopher Hitchens. But continue.
Yeah, I agree. I like it. I like his book. Same with Richard Dawkins. I like their books. I feel like if I was sitting in a room with them and watching them really make some poor person that believes in God feel like a piece of shit, I probably wouldn't feel the same way. You know, like I don't know. But the thing is, you could trace that stuff as far back as, you know, the I guess the harm that comes from such belief systems sometimes. So you know, maybe in their mind they're doing their best good by trying to convince people, but. I don't know. I feel like calling one side stupid is like makes things very divisive, and it's not a great path towards finding some kind of common link.
You're right about that.
Which is all. It's all it seems like we do now. Is just say if you're a Republican, you're stupid. If you're this, you're stupid. If you're that, you're stupid. You're a monster. You're a Nazi. I don't know. It's just like everyone just gets so wild. It's very us versus them right now. And I don't feel like it's a recipe for anything good.
Well, it's the internet, man. It's because everyone's so disconnected from everyone.
Well, the internet's even
say
worse.
Whatever you want. It's never any repercussions.
There's so many things people say to you that are like, "Hey," a lot of people on the internet said this, and it's like it's like three people that like, you know, click like an article a news article in quotes that needs something to write a story about, grabs like three people's tweets and then makes a whole article about how everyone's upset about, I don't know, what's Hunter Schafer playing Zelda in the Legend of Zelda game. It's like,
you mean movie?
Or movie, yeah, sorry. If you look at Hunter Schafer, she looks exactly like what I'd imagine Zelda would look like. But the fact that she was born a he is very offensive to some people, apparently. So it's
they fan cast Hunter Schafer as any character that looks like an elf.
She does. she looks exactly like an elf. Like she looks exactly like what an elf would look like. Yeah, exactly. And in defense of her abilities as an actress, an actor, and devoid of the fact that she's transgender, it's like I watched it. I didn't know.
I haven't seen her in anything.
I didn't know. Well, I didn't watch Euphoria, but I didn't know she was a. I didn't know she was originally a man because, I watched the movie Cuckoo. There's a horror movie that she was in, and also she was very briefly in this movie Kinds of Kindness, which she's partially naked in. And I at no point until maybe this started when people started saying that know that she wasn't originally a she. So,
but back to diet for a second. What you really got to do, eat whatever you want. Eat local is what you want to do, and avoid factory farms.
I've been making a lot of my own food recently.
But that's what you got to do. Eat local.
I've been making a lot of my own food from scratch lately. You know, I made like a succulent Chinese dinner recently for one of my. Have you seen that meme?
Which in places like ours, no, sorry, but
No.
just finish my thought.
Mhm.
Eat seasonal.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
Well, I eat the things that are out now.
Yeah, eat the things that you.
Well, now's the thing where everything's out. Really, now's the time.
Well, getting there.
It's all preservatives and other stuff in or preserves in.
Oh
in
man,
winter.
things are pretty bleak in January and February, and even March, as far as fresh food goes around here.
That is true. That's why you gotta kill those chickens and put them in your freezer, so you got them for the winter.
I'll take the eggs.
Yeah, I mean eggs are. Although eggs you can't really preserve.
Don't need to. They lay them every day.
Even in winter, the chickens just
Yep.
laying eggs out there.
Hmm.
And if you have a rooster, how
You
So
see,
you
that's
have-
the whole nother thing. I don't want a rooster because it's just more work. You don't want them fertilizing the eggs, right?
how can you tell they're fertilized eggs?
Well, you see who your rooster's messing around with.
Well, you don't know until say you don't know. The rooster got it in the hen house. How would you tell?
Then you
So you find a
tell-
chicken
you
fetus
could-
one of your eggs?
could start incubating. I'm not a rooster expert or anything, but I believe you'd have to start incubating it and find out. I don't know. I mean, they seem to know. Like people who sell like fertilized eggs, they always seem to know. Most of the ones we get are fertilized.
There's people's jobs like chicken sexers whose job it is to tell if a chicken is a male or female
Hmm.
when they hatch.
I gotta have a hatch here and probably tomorrow.
Oh, really? You know,
Yeah.
cheeky on the way. Oh,
Or 22. We'll see how well it does.
oh, you got eggs that you're incubating to hatch. In your
Yeah, and they're gonna hatch tomorrow or the next day.
chicken. No, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Have you named them all yet?
No, never name your chickens before they hatch.
There's a TV show on Amazon. I think it is. It's about Tom Green. He bought like a hobby farm in Toronto.
Oh,
Apparently, it's quite good. It's like it's because he's not like doing his goofy Tom Green stuff. He's just being himself. He's kind of seems to evolve beyond that a bit. He's just being himself, working on a farm. And I guess he's on Mark Maron's podcast recently, and he was talking. I guess there's an episode where
Not sticking his fingers down Hump Daddy's throat or anything like that. No.
Episode of the show where he I think he has like a bunch of chickens that he names, and he's all in love with the chickens, and then he comes home
They're
someday
pretty
and
great.
he gets the wolves rip them apart.
Oh
I
no.
guess there's like an episode where he finds all his like
He's just free ranging them, is he?
Well, I think he maybe have changed the way he was doing it since, but
Hmm.
I don't. That might be a spoiler for the show, but he talks about it. And Mark Maron just announced he's ending his show. I've been
Oh, is that
listening to
right?
that. I've been
You
listening to
must
that
be
show.
very sad.
I am. I listen to that show diligently. I haven't missed an episode since I started listening.
Well, you'll have time for hold up.
I am listening to all 19 hours of each episode. I'm actually
shave
not.
it back down.
I'm not actually even quite done this first episode, the robot episode. And I must say, you're much nicer to Murphy in this episode. You guys.
Well, it had been a while.
No, this is the one before you went. You
Oh.
started. You came back from your hiatus because I didn't realize I didn't listen to that one.
Hmm.
So, yeah, you really go to town and old like you and Murphy seem. It's just nice. It seems like like you're being nice to Murphy. Even and I
That'd be nice.
had fond memories of Bicentennial Man, but I hadn't seen it since it first
Oh,
came
man,
out.
yeah.
So
Well, how would I feel about that? I didn't
Oh, you
quite
guys
feel
hated
did
it.
I?
you guys thought it
Yeah.
was boring.
Yeah, it kind of was.
You guys pretty much didn't really care for any movie. I think you thought the Finch movie is okay, which I never saw. But it sounds interesting to me. It sounds like the kind of movie I like.
What was that?
The
now?
Tom Hanks one was Finch.
Oh, Finch was a good movie.
Yeah, I think you guys said it was
Yeah.
like a 6 out of 10 or 6.5 out of 10. To
Yeah.
you and the other guy,
Okay.
whose name I escapes.
Well, yeah. Oh, KH. KH
Sure.
was on there.
Gah.
Yeah. Hmm. Should we get into this episode or what?
No, I don't think we need to. Wanda
All right.
shows up, end of episode.
And it's the HeX factor to consider.
That's true. That is true. There is the titular HeX factor, if you will.
Mhm.
All right.
You said titular.
I'm sorry, I didn't know I was doing a podcast with a child.
You didn't? Oh, jeez.
Boy's my face red.
It is embarrassing for you.
Yes, well, it's been a long day.
Well, you know what they usually say when I show up.
Bring the patient in.
Want to get it started? Get a crack-a-lackin'?
Yeah. Oh, whoops. Waiting on me. My bad. Let's do it.
All right. Well, Hex Factor. Boom. Professor X enters the building. Basically, he's brought into a prison and waiting there for an orderly to bring a young girl. They have obviously an insane amount of security around this girl.
There's just so many dudes with billy clubs. Like,
yes, that is true.
it's like you only need one of those guys because if that guy's not enough, then none of them are gonna be.
Well, like her abilities are related to the use of her hands. So they keep saying, "Don't let her use her hands. Don't let her hands."
Yeah, that was gonna be an X point later.
So, like, if
I'll
her
just
hands were
expand upon
perfectly, but she managed to wiggle one of her hands free enough that she can undo the bonds using her powers, and then fucks everyone up. Cause a
that. Man,
bunch of
whoever
destruction.
tied those binds there, egg on his face.
Yeah. So basically, she eventually gets into the room that Xavier's in, and Xavier looks shocked. And we go into an intro. So we see this. Then we get to the intro. Now, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll wait a bit until I address it. Let's wait until we get a little further in before I talk about it. Professor Xavier uses Psyche Blast to weaken her, knocks her on the ground. He begins to talk to her. He says that she got to keep her powers under control. She tells him she wants him to get him out of the asylum. He says he's always shows a place at the school, but she's not ready yet. She's got to figure out how to control her powers first. They can't risk it. A doctor shows up, says they need to cut his visit short because she needs a particular type of X-rays. She goes with them quietly. So, like, when Wanda's in control of her powers, they don't seem to be too worried. They let her walk along without her hands tied.
It's never great being the Scarlet Witch, but it definitely sucks being the Scarlet Witch in this show.
Yeah. Wanda realizes she's being kidnapped as the doctor is taking her to radiology. She comes anxious, starts destroying things around her. The doctor opens the door, and an elderly woman chants some spells, which puts Wanda to rest.
It was Agatha all along.
It was. And then we find out, of course, the doctor is Mystique in disguise. Ushering. I love how Mystique had at no point, like at any point, because we established later when she stole the files from Xavier, she learned about Wanda. So at any point, she could have come and got Wanda out of prison, but she only did it the day Xavier was there, which seems like a needless risk. So we see Kitty wanting Nightcrawler to try her recipe of muffins she did in home ec. He eats them, but they're terrible. He tries to pretend like they're nice, but they're not. My favorite part of this is after he throws the muffin down and runs away to go wash the taste out of his mouth, the muffin continues to bounce rather high along the floor. Like
and they're strangely fuzzy or like something. They're like kind of like they didn't raise well in the oven.
We see Scott and Jean discussing their other partners, and it seems like they're circling about talking about their own feelings for one another.
Not super happy with old Duncan.
But Scott seemingly is trying to broach the subject of them just admitting the truth that they like each other, that he likes her, but every time he tries, Ducky keeps honking the horn over his shoulder, which is actually pretty funny. She's like, ignore him, and she goes, well, maybe we. And he's like, honk, and she's like, just ignore him. And he's like, well, the thing is, honk. And like this, every time we try to talk, Doug is just back there honking the old boyfriend.
I feel like that's happened like 3 times already, like, or maybe even more than that, where they just get interrupted at the last second. It's almost like that should probably be the last time. Like,
yeah, probably. So Mystique returns back to the Brotherhood's home. She's upset about the state of the building, how they left it.
I got excited at this point because I was just waiting for this Mystique Boom Boom showdown, and I wasn't sure if it was going to happen. And anyway, continue.
She throws Todd against the wall, saying this boy's destroyed her house. Tabitha enters, prepares to fight Mystique. Pietro stops her from doing so. Pietro asks where she's been all this time. She declares the X-Men are about to get knocked down a peg. She introduces Wanda.
Here, actually.
Nope.
Yeah, well, just where have you been all this time?
All you need to know is that I'm back.
Yeah.
She introduces Wanda.
Tall. But I guess she can make herself as tall as she wants.
Yeah, they did. She did get an upgrade from that power booth, apparently.
It's funny how they sort of like tweak the design. It's not the skull.
It's just like, it's probably, they're probably
kind
for
of like
kids.
it's like a gold thing.
So she introduces Wanda, who Pietro recognized immediately. And she gets upset seeing Pietro and starts destroying the place.
Are you out of your mind bringing Wanda here? Can't you see how dangerous she is? She's like a witch with those powers.
She's like a witch.
Witch. Eventually, the same elderly woman from before calms Wanda down. Mystique identifies the woman as Agatha Harkness. She says that Wanda will help them because she can give Wanda revenge on her father, Magneto. Tabitha returns and leaves, claiming they're too many women for one house, and then she blew up Mystique's room as a parting gift.
Don't trust her. She's just going to lead you down that witch's road. down the road.
Down the witch's road.
But you know what? That's actually 2 new characters introduced in this episode.
That's really good
for this show. Yeah,
I could have been.
And that's a kind of an outside the box one. Agatha Harkness in this show.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, pretty cool.
Also, we know nothing about Agatha at all. Like nothing. She's like, I have this woman helping me.
At first, just for a second, I did figure it out. It was Agatha pretty quick, but I'm like, is that supposed to be Destiny or something? Like,
yeah, that's what I thought at first. I remember we saw her before, and she was like blind and younger.
Yeah.
So you see Kurt's hiding from Kitty's, who she won't make him try any more of her cooking. Kitty tries to announce him another
She's
muffin.
had like 6 patches at this point. He's like hiding from them.
Xavier recalls the students, so Kurt's kind of saved by the bells. He doesn't eat the muffin. The muffin that she was trying to give him leaves a large dent on the floor when it falls. So
Hi, Kurt. You and your locker not speaking?
That was earlier, but
it was
a funny line too.
Wanda's at a training session. We see her working with Harkness. Her anger is pretty strong to overcome. And she manages to overcome it somewhat and cuts her hair. She says she's just Pietro enters and wants to talk. She tries to attack him. He claims she wants to talk, and she begins to talk about her life in the asylum. Says that he's just like Magneto and exits angrily. I think it was mentioned earlier about her past. I thought it was. Oh,
there's flashback scenes that come up
earlier when she first showed up. Mystique tells that Agatha Harkness is there, and she says, "Want to help them? She wants revenge on her father, Magneto." And they explain that Magneto put her in the asylum because her powers were out of control and he couldn't handle her.
Isn't that his? Anyway, that'll be an next point, maybe. Yeah,
one of my points is, why does the world not know mutants exist? There are like 100 guards that work in that random asylum that know this person has these abilities.
She's a witch.
In this world, it seems as though they don't know about magic people or people with powers at all.
Yeah, but if they didn't know about these things and mutants at all, like even a scientific concept of mutants,
man, you can't tell me
just their mind would just go to witch
somewhere.
And she wears crosses for earrings.
They're onks, I think.
Well, they're totally witchy. She's a witch. They'll just think she's a witch.
It's like well, no, that's not fair. Anyway, she says that she just.
Can you hear that helicopter like flying over my house?
They search for weed plants.
I don't have any of those actually. They take up too much space. I'd rather grow tomatoes.
Weed tomatoes.
Tomatoes? Tobacco.
Tobacco.
No tobacco for me.
So she thinks she's too much like her dad. She's too angry after her dad dropped her off in the asylum. She's worried about that.
All right, you know what? Screw it if it was an X point. What isn't that supposed to be his whole thing? Like embracing mutants for who they are.
Well, it's convenient.
He didn't even do that with his own daughter. Yeah, like Magneto sucks in this show so far.
He's certainly not very consistent, that's for sure.
Like there's no Magneto was right t-shirts coming out of this show.
Yeah, he's not very consistent, to say the least.
No.
Not at all. So anyway, we find out that Mystique has a plan for the Brotherhood to take on the X-Men. Xavier gets word the Brotherhood are breaking in at the mall. Using his technology and his powers, the X-Men arrived and easily defeat all the Brotherhood. However, eventually, Wanda makes an appearance. Lance finds Kitty, pleads with her to leave because he knows Wanda's coming. Kitty's upset with him for making her think.
I still like their relationship.
Yeah, me too. Yet another episode that Evan is in with no words whatsoever.
Mystique was just like earlier giving them so much shit though. It's just like, where's this badass like?
Yeah, they're like, whatever all these like
I
people
put together.
When you
when's
even
the last time you beat the X-Men?
She's like, when do you try to join them? You know, like,
yeah, seriously. Yeah, that was a good speech by Mystique.
Yeah, so Wanda, she tries to get Kitty to leave. And
you know what we missed?
What?
I grabbed that clip, didn't I? Oh yeah.
Room's all yours.
I said that. She blew up the room.
Yeah, but I had the clip.
Oh yeah, because when she first shows up, she says like, "Oh, this must be mistake," or whatever,
yeah.
or
Mystic.
Mystic, or yeah, she says her name wrong. So yeah, Lance tries to get her to leave because she knows that bad stuff's coming.
I just
Kitty
love
upset with him thinking that she leave the key base. Laura then shows up and begins causing immense destruction, basically making Scott's eye beams go haywire, and Bruce Evans spikes, so they only attack him. She gets Kitty trapped in the floor, makes Kurt's tell patient to land him outside. She looks pretty cool though. She definitely like is kind of an upgrade as far as like her appearance goes in this. Eventually,
Jean of Boom Boom. Remember that Weapon X series I've mentioned a few times? It starts off with that like hunt for Sabretooth and like Mesmero and Aurora were on the team and stuff. Written by Frank Thierry. Boom Boom was on that team too. That's when she was going by Meltdown.
Oh yeah, I like the name better.
Yeah. Oh, better than Boom Boom? Oh,
yes.
I don't know about that. Don't know about that.
Boom Boom sounds like a stripper. It does. The more you think about it, the more Boom Boom, the Boom Boom room.
The Boom Boom room.
That's where shit happens. So anyway, Scott wants to keep fighting, but Jean convinced them that they can't take her, so they leave. And then Scott, Professor X says that Toad comments that the victory is due to their new secret weapon, the Scarlet Witch. So Toad kind of names her. Professor Xavier says that defeat is his fault because he didn't teach him how to handle a mutant like Wanda, and that victory is just as mockery of their character as defeat. And they don't really listen to him.
That's a teaser there too, where he's going to start training them for like Apocalypse.
Well, he says you have to learn to learning to lose is also an important part of it.
Yeah,
and they certainly lost that day. So.
Yeah, it's a good ending.
Yeah, bad.
I was like super into this episode like the whole time, and it just sort of ends. That's my big one complaint about it.
Well, the next episode is like a big two-parter season finale, so it's probably like a setup for that.
Sort of abrupt because it was all just seen for naught. It's just like what? So it's all just like Mystique just orchestrated this fight in the mall just to see who would win.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Oh, the
whole episode was better than that one idea.
If the X-Men hadn't bailed, then it probably wouldn't have, went that hard.
Yeah. It's not. Well, let's rate it then, I guess.
How should we proceed, sir?
By making a call.
I like this one quite a bit, even with the abrupt ending. It was fun. The dialogue was fun. It had some heart too. Like a bit of everything. It was a good
Listen
episode.
to your heart. Doom, doom.
It had more characters. Oh, geez, I'm going to give this one. It kind of expanded on how crappy Magneto is as well. I think this one a 9.
I'm gonna give it 8.
Yeah, this season's been working for me lately. This show is picking up. I gotta say, I'm excited to see where it's gonna go.
I don't know. I feel like the mutants are like a secret, yet everyone, like anyone working in that facility, knows.
It has to. She's a witch.
That's not an excuse. Like the world, somebody would talk. So there's like 1,000. There's like
they talk about this witch.
All right.
Not just her specifically. You mean? Well, like there's a lot of slip ups starting to happen for sure. Yeah, I mean, it just must be constant mind wipes. Like, there's a lot of telepaths out there doing some good mind wiping work.
Every day you have to mind wipe those guys?
Well, you hope there's not a slip up every day. But the mutants are out there. There's a lot of them.
I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
Not
Could be a
gonna
thing
do it.
where, like,
I'm
know
not
mutants
gonna
exist.
do it.
Not gonna do it.
Not gonna do it.
All right. Well, time for some X points.
There's no point.
What? Oh,
That was what? That was something you put in.
I know.
Oh, okay. Is that a new thing? I don't remember.
Yeah, I
hearing
think
that
it's been there a couple episodes.
Oh, I like
no
it.
point.
It's no point.
There's 10 points.
Oh.
All right.
Well,
Well,
talk with this shit.
my first X point before my phone dies here is the hand gesture thing. So I just found it interesting that they made her powers dependent kind of upon hand gestures, basically. And that's sort of what they've done with Doctor Strange in the MCU. Like, rather than the comics where it's all text, it's all about the words he says. Like, most of the stuff Doctor Strange does in the comics, he just has to say something. He doesn't need his hands. But it's not that in the movies. And seemingly with Scarlet Witch in this too. And seemingly with Scarlet Witch in the movie. She's always doing this kind of crazy stuff. Like, yeah. So, hand gestures for, like, magic and that type of stuff seems to be where they've been going in the 2000s.
My first point, during this episode, Toad uses his tongue to remove Cyclops' visor.
Yeah.
Which is straight out of the X-Men 1 movie.
Yep.
I thought that was interesting. Wonder if it was purposeful. I assume so, but who knows?
Yeah, it was a good one. And Rogue got Toad's powers in this one.
Oh, right. Yeah, she did. Toad also seems to have gotten a haircut or something. His hair looks a little more wild than it was in the past.
So, I was questioning, I think, last episode or perhaps the episode before, how, like, how the Brotherhood house has any money or, like, food or, like, what's going on there. Then I realized
they're obviously eating
not really an
humans.
issue. What?
They're eating humans.
Oh, they're eating humans. That explains it as well. Well, if they're not eating humans, I figure it's just Quicksilver and Toad shoplifting a lot.
I just assume
I figure
Quicksilver
they'd be
can
very
get them whatever they
protective.
want.
Yeah. So
that's a fair assumption.
That was what I'm thinking. Because how else? Unless one of them's rich. But I don't think any of them are rich.
Why would they be living in the shithole if they were rich?
Yeah, well, exactly. They'd have butlers.
That's true.
So yeah, shoplifting. That's what makes them the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. They're shoplifters.
Just the shoplifting is the evil part.
That's all we got. Other than that, they're kind of just nice boys most of the time. They're not bad.
One thing too I thought was funny is while being in a psychiatric institute, Wanda still wears lipstick and eyeshadow. So they must let the patients gussy themselves up, I guess.
Not with her hands. Someone's gonna have to do that for her. Someone's gonna have to wipe her butt too.
That's a part of the episode that they don't talk about, you know.
Maybe it's just me as a parent. It's the first thing I thought of, like them walking her
Who's
down
wiping
the hallway
that
in
girl's
the
butt?
jacket. Exactly. It's just like, what?
These are what I
Don't
need
let her
to know.
hands free.
Who's doing that?
Oh, Hanif's evolution has a lot of tie-ins, parallels to the movies. Yeah, it seems so. You know, if they pick very carefully which things they choose to tie into or parallel, that's fine. If Storm comes in and says something about Toads being hit by lightning and stuff.
Oh, I would love that. That would make me so happy.
No. I would laugh, I suppose. All right, well, who's it to? You?
Is it me, my third one?
Yeah.
So Fred's mohawk is back.
Oh, he grew it back. Good.
Apparently so.
Good for him. All right. Well, my next X point is So, when did Magneto get rid of Pietro then?
No idea.
And why? Was he just too fast? He just like sucks with all mutants. He's just like, that's why I don't have a brotherhood. I can't deal with all these mutant powers. I don't like it. Just can't figure out this Magneto.
So he's very inconsistent. The dialogue, the very last line of this episode, I thought was really good. Where Professor X says, handling defeat is as much a mark of your character as coming from the victor. From what I see, this was a lesson apparently much needed. So the X-Men are sore losers.
It tracks. All right, my next one is Boom Boom. So is she going back to the mansion now then, or is she just going to disappear as a character, you think?
Oh, I think she'll probably go back to the mansion. We'll figure something.
I hope so, because
there's this big. I think this big two-parter at the end will probably shake things up.
Oh yeah, the Day of Reckoning. For 1 and 2. I think that's going to be like a Magneto storyline. I guess we'll see.
One would assume.
Yeah, then they'll tie that up and then go move on to Apocalypse, I guess. People keep saying.
My final point, I guess, would be, should I just add it here? Yeah, I like that Toad names the Scarlet Witch. He says we choose the Scarlet Witch for the heroes or secret weapon, and that kind of like names her. So thought it was kind of cool that
Well, I guess
folks.
My last X point, I guess, will also have to do with the Scarlet Witch, and it's like they basically give her TK again because they basically always have to give everyone telekinesis if they have magic powers or just powers that are hard to explain. It's always just telekinesis is part of it. But I think they did a good job with her powers in this actually, because she was actually messing with probabilities and stuff, like way better than they do with her powers in the MCU, I think. Which is just basically take TK and she reads minds. She's basically Jean Grey in the MCU. But in this, like Nightcrawler just would teleport and he would just go somewhere else. And like stuff like that. Like just messing with the probabilities of things going wrong. And that's kind of more like her powers. I thought it's more fun to write, so it should be interesting to see what they do with that.
Bonus X point. The voice actress that does the voice of Wanda is Kelly Sheridan. Canadian voice actress from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Ottawa. Who is 77, so I guess she'd be 48 years of age.
She's voicing Scarlet Witch?
Not at the time. She's 48 now. So she would have been.
Oh, I thought you meant she was 77 years old.
No. So she has done a lot of anime. Ranma 1/2, Mega Man, Card Captors, Inuyasha, Powerpuff Girls, the anime version of them. She did My Little Pony, X-Men Evolution, of course, Crypto the Super Dog.
Who voiced Agatha Harkness?
She's in the Wolverine.
Catherine Hahn?
She's in the Wolverine Origin motion comic as well. Do the voice of Elizabeth Howlett. So there's another X-Men combo. She also is in the movie Sausage Party.
Haven't seen it.
She's done a fuck ton of direct-to-video and television Barbie movies. In My Little Pony movies. She has the voice of Cotton Candy in My Little Pony.
Interesting. Right. Well,
she's on some show called Dynasty Warriors, and when I looked at it, I thought it said Duck Dynasty for a minute. I was going to be like, how the hell did that happen?
It's quite the career, she said. What am I looking for here? I can't.
Hey, check it.
This is Hey Check It, our comic reminiscences and recommendations segment. Go for it, Andre.
Well, yeah. This episode gave me a little bit of a horror bend. Horror, and as the lady does the voice of Wanda Maximoff, seems to have done a lot of anime, had me thinking about something that connected, and I thought, well, let's do a horror comic by the great Junji Ito, who is well known for doing a obscene amount of horror comics, Japanese horror comics. Remina is this episode, or Remina, which is a cool little horror comic. You ever read anything by Junji Ito?
I don't think so.
Well, he's done a ton of horror short stories. They all come in these big compilations. Spiral and all those ones. And I believe there's a YouTube show that adapts some of them. But it's very weird, dreamlike, almost David Lynchian horror stuff. But it's cool. It's very strange. It's almost dreamlike, and even though it seems really absurd, it still sits with you in a weird way. It's hard to shake. So yeah, check it out. It's very cool.
All right. I'm going to have two recommendations. One, I might recommend a lot by then. It'll lead up to the movie coming out, but Fantastic Four #1 by Ryan North.
Ooh, this out now?
Ramos.
Dude, I should get this. Humberto Ramos doing the art? I love him.
I know. What a team, eh? What a power team that
Great
is.
team.
Ryan North and Humberto Ramos. No, it comes out next month. I haven't read it. I'm just saying.
copy
I
in your
don't.
hand?
I'm just saying, go get it.
What is that? Why are you
This is
showing
the
me
free
comics?
comic book day
Oh.
preview to it.
Well, just flaunt it around in our face.
Yeah, get out there and get it, man. It's a power team on the Fantastic Four. Seriously, July 2025. Check it out. But one thing I have read, Giant Size X-Men #1 with Kamala Khan. She gets sent back to the time of
Isn't she dead?
75. No, she's not dead. She was
Killed in the Spider-Man comic.
X-Men don't die.
This was after that, though, wasn't it?
What?
She was killed in the Spider-Man comic after the Krakoan thing, wasn't she?
Yeah, but the 5 still brought her back, I think. Yeah.
Did you listen to my podcast with Peter Sanderson?
Yeah, of course. I always listen to your podcast.
Just continuity stuff, man.
Yeah, I know. Talk to Peter Sanderson about that. I was going to actually make one of my recommendations, the Wolverine Saga. Didn't he write that one?
Yeah, he did.
I had that here, but maybe I don't have it anymore because I couldn't find it. Or maybe it's over in my Wolverine box. I didn't look in there. So yeah, check out the Wolverine Saga by Peter Sanderson. Comic book historian, you might say.
I think you very, very, very much say that.
Mm-hmm. When he was talking about Mark Waid's history of the Marvel Universe, he's just like, "Oh, I think he did a great." I mean, they didn't invite me at all.
Yeah,
even as an editor, but it was still good.
Yeah, it was actually. I forgot. I want to reread that because I think I had the single issues, but the fact that he read all those DC comics, even at the time,
crazy.
It's like a full year. I mean, this is pre-crisis, so there weren't nearly as many, but it was still a lot.
It was, fun interview. So yeah, check it out. Kamala Khan. She's going to be going through a few things of X-Men's past. I think there's going to be 5 of those giant-sized issues with her X-Men. So they're working her into the X-Men pretty good there. I think probably for the MCU that will eventually come after Secret Wars. I'm sure she'll stick around. But, oh, geez. We're both getting tired now.
Long day, man. It's been a long day.
It has been. I agree. But we're here, so let's... But
I like movies, which is fine.
It's fine.
get down to the AV club since we're after hours here.
Which is fine. It's fine, man.
Like
It's
your
fine.
movies, Andre.
I do like my movies.
Like them.
All right,
You'll
well,
like them all right.
I'm going to take you back to the distant realm of what year did this come out? 1991. I'm going to read you the back. Let's see how far you get along. Part human, part alien, pure superpower is the tagline. See if you can guess enough of that.
Is it a is it a Marvel character?
No.
The DC character?
No.
Part alien, part superhero.
Part human, part alien. Pure superpower.
Oh. All right, keep going.
Mark Hamill of Star Wars and the team behind horror classic Reanimator joined forces for this electrifying live-action adaptation of Yoshika Takaya's celebrated manga series. Nothing? Having been smuggled out of the mysterious Kronos Corporation by one of its researchers, a bioweapon known as the Guyver unit, which transforms its holder into a...
Oh, is this the Guyver?
Ends up in the hands of Sean, a young martial arts student. Sean soon finds himself in the sights of the Kronos Corporation and his mutant henchmen who will stop at nothing to retrieve the weapon. Produced by Brian Usna, creator of Society, Bride of Reanimator, and co-directed by special effects master Screaming Mad George and Steve Wang. The Guyver is an FX lighting extravaganza having a plethora of familiar genre faces, such as Michael Berrien from The Hills Have Eyes and David Gale from Reanimator. It is, in fact, The Guyver from 1991. Starring Mark Hamill. This is the Arrow Edition Blu-ray. There's Michael Berryman there. But it is...
I think I've seen that movie.
It's... Probably. It was kind of like proto Power Rangers... Like guy transforms with it's actually very Blue Beetle. Like Blue Beetle, the new Blue Beetle movie is almost the exact same concept, where it's like a guy fused with an alien technology that gives him a suit, like an exoskeleton suit that makes him really strong when he fights people. It's cool. If I recall correctly, the sequel, Guyver Dark Fate, which I believe has David Hayter in it, that does the voice of Solid Snake from the.
It has the same title as the Terminator movie.
This is way before that, though. This is way before that.
I know.
There's not a Blu-ray.
Stole their title from the Guyver.
There's not a Blu-ray of that out, but I would like that one because I remember watching both of these as a kid at my grandmother's house, and they were on. I think it was YTV or something, and she had cable, and I watched the movies there. And I remember being very good, but I don't. I remember the monsters being pretty cool looking too, because these like the Guyver suit was kind of neat looking for the time period, but the monsters. Let's see here. Yeah, there's old evil Mark Hamill with a mustache.
That mustache does say evil.
I believe is Mark Hamill the hero in this? I thought he was the bad guy. Anyway, the mutants are pretty cool looking. I thought for the time period. It's all practical special effects. It's all practical effects. They're pretty neat.
You love the practical.
Yeah, it was a cool series. But anyway, yeah, I believe the sequel, which I'm not sure where you can watch it. I think you probably just have to download it. But there might be some rights issues with it. But David Hayter, I think, who did the voice of Solid Snake in the those games. What are those games called? The Metal Gear Solid games. Played the live action guy in the second one. And I remember it being a lot darker, more serious film. Well, the first one had its fair share of goofiness. Yeah, Jack Armstrong plays the Guyver, and Mark Hamill was Max Reed, who I believe is a bad guy. You're muted again.
You should really buy a new microphone tomorrow. Maybe that's what I'll do. Go to the microphone store.
The microphone store? Just the store they sell microphones?
Yeah, that's what my daughter always says. Everything has its own store. Oh, you want to go get crackers from the cracker store? Or you want to go get... like few super obscure things. You want to go get like swimming goggles from the swimming goggles store? I was like, sure, honey.
Another extra movie recommendation is two. One I picked up today was the 4K of The Outlaw Josie Wales, Clint Eastwood. And the other I found at a used store, which I believe a used store, which I do believe has a Blu-ray out there, but it's hard to find. And this was only $1. And it's the first movie ever directed by Martin Scorsese. Boxcar Bertha.
Boxcar Bertha.
It is a Roger Corman movie. So that's how far back.
That says a lot.
Yep. Well, this is how we got to start. He was one of the, much like Jonathan Demme, Joe Dante, Peter Bogdanovich, like James Cameron, huge directors nowadays all got their start working with Roger Corman.
Well, speaking of Roger Corman and Fantastic Four, go see Fantastic Four 1990.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going to see that. You have to download it. It's not readily available or easy to find. There's a documentary about it out there, which I hear is pretty interesting.
Yeah. I haven't seen that either. That'd be a fun one to maybe review.
Man, the Guyver Dark Hero. Oh, it's Dark Hero, not Dark Fate. Sorry. Guyver 2 Dark Hero.
Ah, Dark Hero.
It's only available on DVD, and the cheapest one is $100.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wait, there's one that's
can't be that good.
Wait, there's one that's $29.20. Oh, I'm ordering this one right now.
It's shopping. We're trying to entertain the people here, and he's shopping for Guyvers.
We're entertaining. I'm telling them they can buy the Guyver Dark Hero 2 on DVD, archive collection.
What could be more or less entertaining?
More exciting than that.
You
should just do a show of me shopping on Amazon. I think it'd be pretty exciting. I think people would be interested. I think people want to hear it. They want to know. People want to know where they can get the Guyver 2 Dark Hero.
Then they'll just come in and outbid you if it's eBay or something. You'll be like, no, I sent them here. I should have known.
I'd be so upset.
Yeah. Be your own demise.
Oh, well. Yeah. So what are you going to suggest? Maybe bring something at us. Mister, we're doing this for the people. What do you got to tell the people about? Tell them about gardening, tell them about chickens. You tell them about jazz or blues.
Could do.
What are we going to talk about?
What do I want to talk about tonight? Well, let me take a look. Maybe we'll just play a game instead.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
So porny.
I know, right?
It's like 90s porn, like early 90s, like Red Shoe Diaries porn.
Mustache porn.
Yeah, I think mustaches were gone by the early 90s.
Yeah, probably. Like
it's more like the Red Shoe Diary stuff, like the softcore. That's a very specific reference to people of our age bracket that grew up with basic cable. I didn't have basic cable, but my neighbor did. And I would babysit.
Like look through their windows and watch Red Shoe Diaries.
No, I'd babysit their kids.
Don't lie to me, Andre. We're all friends here.
I'd babysit when their kids went to bed. I would watch whatever was on.
Oh my! If the kids go to bed and you're watching Red Shoe Diaries.
Oh no, not like that. I wasn't. Yeah, I was still a bit too young to be that into it. Like just enough to be like, what is this?
Jeez, we're getting some information here, aren't we?
Nothing damning. It's just you'd see it's where you saw adult entertainment in like a softcore manner. Also, was that like David Duchovny's first? Like he was on that show, right?
Yeah, he was the guy walking around with his dog.
Actually, no, it wasn't the Red Shoe Diaries. That was later. That's after my parents got cable. Then yes, I caught that. But there was a show on the movie network called The Hunger, which was almost like
I used to watch The Hunger all the time. Feel the hunger, let them out.
Which was like it was like Tales from the Crypt but a little sexier, and it was all horror stuff. But David Bowie did that was what I watched at their house. The Red Shoe Diaries is what I caught on Showcase at Mom and Dad's house.
What was the actor that did the intro?
It was David Bowie.
No.
Yeah, it was because he was in the movie The Hunger. That was kind of a spinoff of vampires.
Oh, was this? I always thought it was the fella who was in he played Stick in the Elektra movie. I thought it was
Glenn. In the Elektra movie.
Yeah, the Elektra.
Terrence Stamp. Oh, he did in the first season.
Stamp.
Yeah. So David Bowie was the second.
It was Terrence Stamp
in the first season. David Bowie was the second season.
Okay, I don't think I've seen the second season.
We're both right.
I always remember it being Terrence Stamp. Feel the hunger, let them out. Yeah, it was definitely like sexy Tales from the Crypt.
Stories.
I wonder if it holds up. I wonder if you go back and watch The Hunger if it's
Let's do a Hunger podcast. Not really. The stories tended to focus on themes of self-destructive desire and obsession, with a strong component of softcore erotica. Popular tropes of the stories include cannibalism, vampires, sex, and poison. There you go. Poison.
There's a lot of poison in that show, wasn't
A lot of poison.
there? Yeah. No David Duchovny, though.
No, he was in the Red Shoe Diaries.
Yeah.
He's Red Shoe Diarying it up.
Yeah. Well, let's make a mutant.
Oh, shit, we're doing this. Okay.
Why not? That's a
Yeah,
fun
sure.
game. All right. So we're each going to choose a physical trait and power for this mutant here. And I shall choose the power. It is the
Did you
power.
say you have the power?
Like He-Man style?
Yeah.
I always wanted to. I always wanted to have that power. I mean, that was the most like enticing scene in the 80s for a young lad. I have the power, and you just get super jacked and throw Skeletor around.
To throw Skeletor around.
I hate He-Man.
Why are you throwing me across the room?
Remember the one where the Skeletor gets the ambrosia, and so he's super strong and beats the crap out of He-Man? That was a fun one.
Well, like the new like that new series on Netflix that Kevin Smith did one pretty hard in the paint, with like killing off characters to make it all really kind of adulty. Did you watch it? It's actually pretty good.
What?
The Master of the Universe Netflix series that Kevin Smith did.
Was it a series? I thought it was just like a movie.
There's like
I watched
Master of the Universe
was there
Revelation.
more than one season?
There's two, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the second one. Then, I don't think.
Yeah, it's a
I
good
like
show.
the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, check it out.
Is He-Man in the second season more?
Yes.
He's not really in the first season.
No,
Which I'm fine with. Tila's cool.
Yeah, he's definitely part of the second season. Way more.
Interesting. I'll go back and check that out then.
Because they have the whole machine. The Hordak shows up in the second season. You get all his
Well,
things.
speaking of He-Man, then I'm going to pick a physical trait, and like that kind of he's. Did Mechanic have that? No, it was a different character. He's going to have three faces. This character,
Okay.
kind of like the Living Tribunal.
Do they move?
Yes.
Oh, isn't there an X-Men character like that with three faces on around his face? It was in Grant
That's not
Morrison's
like
run.
one
You always
face.
see him hanging around in the
it's
background.
like one face that's kind of split into. Yeah, it's a different thing. I'm talking about three different faces. Maybe three is two Living Tribunal. Let's say
5. So many faces.
so many faces.
Okay. He's covered in fur, is mine.
He's furry and he has 4 faces.
Fur face.
Yeah, we have to call him Furface.
Of course.
Call him Furface. So that's perfect. Furface, and his powers are many, because maybe every face has more of a different power. You know.
That's true. Could be.
I mean, maybe his angry face shoots lasers from his teeth.
Well, okay, wait. He shoots lasers from his teeth.
Yeah, because he makes an angry face and he goes, "Arr!" And then lasers shoot out of his teeth.
Okay.
And then, back to the face thing for Furface, So, teeth lasers. Never been done.
Teeth lasers.
Yeah, exactly like that. You just did it. You just shot lasers. Yeah, see, isn't that cool?
But what if he did, like, I don't know, something with his eyes, and his eyes did something like ice beam? If he's like widens his eyes, ice beams.
Oh, so he's got ice beams and lasers. Okay. But after he shoots ice beams from his eyes are stuck open because they're frozen. He can't blink for like a long time. Then his eyes get irritated. Then he gets irritated and starts shooting teeth lasers. This
Oh
is
my
perfect. I like Furface. He might be the best one.
Hit us
How
up,
does he go
Marvel.
to
If you
the
want to
dentist?
buy, if you want to buy our idea, Marvel, hit us up.
Well, Mime, how does he go to the dentist? That's the thing. I mean, I figure if you have lasers on your teeth, you could probably like shoot your other teeth gently with those teeth lasers and clean them that way.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes,
you know,
the
like
teeth
you
lasers.
just kind of, and then they're good. Almost like a microwave cut, I guess. You just kind of. Good question, though, Mime. Good question. I like that. All right. So, I guess we should probably get out of here. We're getting delirious with this Furface thing, though. It was pretty great. I think Furface was pretty great. You should draw that.
I think we've achieved excellence here.
Me too.
He's the coolest teacher we got around here, and the nicest. Wait, you're forgetting your homework.
Okay, wait, hold on. So I see where Mime's going with this, but what if he gets a cavity or needs braces? Well, the thing is, he just has to make sure he doesn't get angry at the dentist, because it's
the only way he's angry that the
laser. He has to have angry face, like a legit angry face. I figured. So, you know, if that dentist like strikes the wrong nerve with that drill, look out! Look out! Yeah.
That's pretty interesting,
Professor.
Well, Day of Reckoning, part 1 and 2. Watch those.
Are we doing them? We're doing part 1 though, right?
You don't want to do both of them? I was going to ask you. We did last time, but we don't have to do that this time if you don't want to.
Hey, we can. Doesn't matter.
Because on my, I believe, let me open it, but I believe my version of it is combined.
Is it? Interesting.
Yes. Yes, it is.
You just got like a 45-minute episode there or something like that?
39 and 32 seconds.
Huh.
So did you want to do it together? I mean, I can split it. I can assume where
let's do it. Let's do a 2-parter. That'll be fun. Then we can comment on the whole story.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
And then the week after that, we'll be back with the next debated. We got Ryan in on that one. It's you, me, and Ryan debating this.
How does this one work again? I forgot.
We each pick 3 X-Men themed debates, and then the other 2 judge or debate while you judge. So there'll be 9 debates total.
We don't know what it is in advance, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Anything to do with the X-Men?
Yep.
Okay.
X debated.
Guess we'll have some time to.
You can always go back and revisit the other one. Make sure you don't pick the same one.
Master X debaters.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, Jamil he beat us.
Right, he did beat us. Who's going to be in the show this time? Is it Jamil again?
Ryan.
Which Ryan?
No, I can't. I'm not inviting Jamil back. He beat us.
Is it Jablonski? Is that right?
Yep. He wants revenge because he was on Trivial Debates when it was the X-Men episode, and I won that one. So he wants revenge.
Oh, but how? I'm like, how? What? I don't know.
You'll be caught in the crossfire. You'll be crossfire revenged upon.
I was going to make a. I was going to make a wrestling reference that that probably doesn't age well because it involves Chris Benoit.
Probably not.
I was going to say it's like at WrestleMania when Chris Benoit won the Royal Rumble, and then he could choose to fight Triple H for the belt or go to fight the SmackDown guy. But then Triple H was like in the middle of a huge feud with Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels was like, "Don't pick this. I need to fight Triple H, like to put this bad matter to rest." And then they kind of like told him to go cash in on SmackDown instead, the SmackDown champion. But then he ended up going to Triple H and turning it into a triple threat match, and then he won, and it was like so awesome and epic. And then he went and murdered his family, and then he can't really like Chris Benoit anymore, which sucks because as a wrestler he's fantastic, but he obviously had serious problems. And anyway, there we go.
Probably CTE, among other things.
Yes. And his theme song, the redo of it done by Our Lady Peace, is one of the best wrestling theme songs of all time. Which Our Lady
Peace. You went and
Peace,
walked out to an Our Lady Peace song?
He had a song, you watched wrestling back in the day, didn't you?
Yeah, but I don't
remember he had that song. It was like, da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. those Crispin List theme songs. But anyway, Our Lady Peace did a version of it that used that with Rain Amelia singing along with it, and it's called Whatever. Look it up right now. Well, we will do it together when we're off camera here. But it's such a cool theme song, and apparently they started singing it again in live, but there was a long break with it for good reasons. It reminds people of him, but it's such a great song.
Well, we're reminding people of him right now.
That is true. I mean, you can't, ignoring dark things doesn't make them better. I think it probably makes it, the more you talk about it, the more you destigmatizes some of the horrible stuff. In a manner of speaking, I think you give anything too much power if you can't talk about it.
Yeah.
I called it the Voldemort syndrome.
Voldemort.
You shall not be named.
I see. Well, you can support the show at patreon.com/X-Men Review Show. Get your merch over at redbubble.com/people/X-Men Review Show/shop. Just so many SH sounds in that. Anyway. Shop. Contact us at xmenreviewshow@gmail.com or hit me up on the Facebooks. Find our audio-only version wherever you get your podcasts. Please like, review, subscribe, like us. Please like us. Please like us. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook.
We need your validation.
We do. Or else we're just speaking to the wind here. Yeah.
We're wind talkers.
Here we are. Wind whispers. Let's whisper for the rest of the show. No. UFpodcast.com.
What?
Catch you next time.
Next time?
That's it. Restrain the dark impulses. See only the beauty.
See only the beauty.